Ben, real quick before you leave, what did we do in Salvador?
I was going to be the one filming, but all right. Start things off. Let's see. We landed, got to our apartment, which was a little sketch. Taxi drivers always try to rip you off.
Yeah.
But we eventually got there. Bertrand's place was actually pretty nice.
How much time did we spend outside trying to get in?
Oh, that's right. So communication barrier, and again. Probably there talking back and forth for 15 minutes until Bertrand's girlfriend magically showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And walked us through. She told us all the directions in Portuguese, so that was great. I think we picked up most of it. But that night we just kind of walked around Itapua area. It was a lively area.
Yeah.
Lots of bars, things to do, great food. So that's what we did the first night. The second day we took a cab into town to pick up our US tickets.
Okay, yeah.
And then checked out the FIFA or the Fan Fest pregame show that they had set up, which was just a bunch of dudes.
It was a party.
It was not fun, so we stayed about 10 minutes, watched the end of one of the games there. We have to remember to mark that we watched a game there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Anyways, so that's what we did the first day. Second day we went to the beach and then went to the Belgium-US game at Fontenova. The area was completely closed off, so we had to walk maybe 15 minutes after the taxi dropped us off, and there are favelas all around the stadium. But that kind of gave it a cool atmosphere.
More realistic than the Rio, I guess, probably.
Right. There's a security guard standing on a stairwell up to the favelas, and that was I hadn't really seen that around the stadium before. But the whole game, every U.S. fan seemed a little timid and uneasy, as we probably should have been.
We were underdogs, and then plus the Brazilian fans sitting behind us weren't.
Yeah, the U.S. section we had, the first maybe 20 rows, the last 3 rows were Brazilian fans. Well, we stood the whole time, as most U.S. fans do, and we got booed because we were standing and cheering for the team. Our USA chants got booed, so it just kind of felt uncomfortable a little bit. I enjoyed the experience in Manaus more than in Salvador. But even when it went into extra time and Belgium was up 2-0, I never gave up and was like, well, this game's done. It was, all right, well, there's 15 minutes left. The U.S. can come back and win this. We got to see Julian Green's first international World Cup experience.
And goal.
And goal, yeah.
Got to see Tim Howard dominate.
Yeah, that's one of the best players I think I've ever seen live, outside of Messi. It was a cool game. The U.S. lost, but still really happy that they made it through to the round of 16. After that, we got stuck in a drum line in downtown Salvador, and that just took every bit of sadness and I don't know, it just made you forget everything except what was happening at that point in time.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I walked around with a smile for probably 2 hours after the game. Walked around the historic downtown, checked out some shops. Everyone is drinking, having a good time, talking to each other. And then we took a taxi home. Josh, how was that taxi ride?
So we were, it's probably, I feel like it felt like it was midnight. Probably was not. It's probably closer to like 10 p.m.
Or 7:30 p.m. Oh yeah, no, let's go with 10 p.m.
Okay, maybe 10 p.m., maybe 7:30 p.m. We go to try to find a taxi outside the Pelourinho area, which is just packed and there's no car traffic. So we get to this outside plaza and this guy stops and says, "You looking for a taxi?" And he's on a motorcycle. I was like, "Yeah, I guess." And man kind of shook his head. And
it's a long taxi ride. It's like a half an hour back to Itapua.
I wasn't sure about it. And the guy just kept talking to me. I was like, you know what? Like, I want to experience riding on a motorcycle taxi through Salvador, and it seems awesome. So Ben's looking for a taxi, and I'm negotiating a price with this guy, which it really didn't matter. I mean, I think I knocked him down 5 ice, which is $2.50, and then we ended up tipping him that anyways. But so we hop on the back of these bikes and just go whipping through
Separate bikes.
Yeah.
Let the record state.
I mean, we were both on the back of a bike with a full-grown man driving it, and then us on the back seat with our thighs comfortably squeezed against their thighs.
At one point, my motorcycle was in the lead, and we went by a bus to the left, and there was a car to the right, and I just freaking jammed my knees into this guy's side, and he started laughing, and I had to laugh along with him. But like, I was really nervous about hitting that bus.
But in Salvador, and I guess the rest of Rio in general, there's lanes of traffic, there's lines on the road, but nobody cares about them. I mean, if there's 3 lanes designated, there'll be 4 lanes of car traffic, and the motorcycles just whip between the cars and cut in front of them and do 90-degree turns just to get to the next lane, and they basically just don't care about traffic. I mean, if there's a traffic jam, motorcycles are still moving at the speed that's posted on that lane. So, I mean, we hit a few traffic jams, I guess, but basically just weaved in and out of traffic and cut in front of buses and honked at taxis to make sure they split up enough so we could rifle through. And I mean, it was awesome sitting on the back of those.
It was like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, I mean, I had my helmet open. I mean, I had it closed for a while. I was like, shit, probably should have closed in case I get stuff in my eyes, but I'm like, I can't see all that well. I'm whipping this thing open, and I sat back there with this dumb smile.
It smiled the whole time too.
And everyone's finding me to catch up by Ben, and we were side by side there waving like a little idiot. And then the guys are just laughing. Carlos and Ronaldo, I think. And,
Yep.
Finally dropped us off at our place. We went back into town a little bit and played some
Yeah, we played
cards
cribbage.
that night. People were really interested in what we were doing. I guess cribbage board is kind of a Midwestern thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been playing in other places and people are like, what the heck are you doing? But then went to bed. The next morning we walked up and down the beach for a super long time.
Tried to find some place to surf, but it was too rocky.
Yeah, not a great place for starters to go.
We ran into Jack, who was at our hostel in Manaus. We talked to him and his buddies for a while. It was kind of random to run into him.
Yeah, really weird. And then basically that was just a beach day, right? And then we went back to Pellerino that afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, we had a carriage that afternoon.
Oh yeah, we had to stay close to our apartment in case the gastrointestinal fury that a carriage supposedly brings on hit us. But the food was super good. The guy that sold it was super nice, and the lady who made it, and probably her daughter or something, were super cool. That was a fun experience, and we just kind of hung out throughout the day in our neighborhood. I think that was Independence Day for Salvador.
Yep.
Right? Or for all of
July 2nd.
Maybe not for all of Brazil. Maybe just for.
Maybe just for Salvador.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. But yeah, there was kind of a lot of stuff going on, a lot of activity. We played cards again. And the next day we took the bus to Pellerino just to see things during the day because we had experienced the drum circle and everything. But all the shops weren't open and all the restaurants weren't open, so we went and just kind of window shopped and just kind of saw what was going on. It was cool, very historical area and very beautiful, lots of colors and had a lot of character to that part of town. Something that we haven't really seen as part of Rio, and maybe not as part of most of Manaus, I would guess. It's like the dock area down in Manaus. But anyways, finished out that day in Salvador, and the next day we headed back, right?
The next morning we went to Brasilia.
Went to Brasilia to catch. We had tickets for the match that was going to be between Switzerland and Argentina, with the winner of that game versus the winner of U.S. versus Belgium. But since we had watched Belgium beat the U.S. The game in Salvador, and Argentina had taken care of Switzerland, our tickets were for Argentina versus Belgium, which was kind of a disappointment, but still got to see Lionel Messi play in a quarterfinal game in the World Cup, which is a very cool experience. Um, Brasilia, we got in. Well, first of all, we took a flight way out of the way just to get back to Brasilia because it's cheaper that way rather than just going direct. The city itself was different.
Yeah, we landed in, and I really thought that it felt like a city in the U.S.
Yeah, it was car dealerships and
It had no character.
yeah, it was very. It wasn't even like industrial. It was just
There was a lot of concrete.
yeah. It was almost like out of like 1984. Like,
Yeah,
about
yep.
like this future society that's controlled by the government. Because it was basically just the city that just plopped down there 50 years ago. Like, hey, we're gonna move the capital here. Everybody move here. A little bit different. I mean, there's cool monuments and cool buildings, but kind of a ghost town. And
Yeah.
that character that we had at Salvador was completely gone when we got to Brasilia. I mean, it seemed like everybody had something to be doing. I don't know. It's strange, but it was cool. We walked around late at night, watched the Brazil game at a restaurant near our hotel or near our apartment. Sorry. And the next morning we kind of went over that same walk again just to see if things were open that we'd seen during the night all lit up. Go inside. Went inside a few monuments, National Museum, and then headed to the game. Argentina fans were absolutely berserk.
They were a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean it was.
They knew how to keep a cheer through 3 straight minutes, just constantly being loud, and
Yeah.
I don't know, they never, I guess they were up 1-0 at the time, but it was strong the whole way through.
Yeah, the Brazil fans were trying to kind of get them out of their tune, but it didn't matter. They were rearing to go. They wanted to will their team to victory, and in the end, the offensive side probably just outmatched Belgium.
They could have won 3-0, but they ended up winning 1-0.
Yeah.
Goal by Higuain.
So the game finished up. We went back to the apartment to watch the Netherlands qualify for the quarterfinals as well, and PKs over Costa Rica. And then, rather than take the 45-minute flight back to Rio, we took a 3.5-hour flight
Yeah.
to Manaus, our old rainforest city that we love so much. And then from Manaus that night back to Rio 5 hours, flying over Brasilia in the process. It was good to be back in Manaus. We got to play that goofy soccer table
Yeah.
that we've become pretty good at. And I guess some of the flight stuff was kind of funny, but we don't want to talk about that right now. Anyways, landed back in Rio this morning. We're not a bit tired. We were very tired. But it's Sunday here, and did we fly out on a Sunday last time? Did you get to go to Hippie Fair? Or did we fly out on a Saturday?
We flew out on Monday.
Flew out on Monday.
Yeah, I had already gone to Sugarloaf and then
okay.
Christ the Redeemer and didn't want to do anything else.
We missed that meeting. So this morning we wanted to go to Hippie Fair because Ben hadn't been there. I'd actually been there twice already. I'll let Ben talk about what he thought about that whole morning.
Hippie Fair was pretty cool. Lots of arts and crafts, some cool drawings and paintings by artists that were selling their works. They had a lot of shops. I enjoyed walking around. Picked up a few gifts for some people. It was a beautiful day here, sunny, and we got to walk along Copacabana Beach. Just hundreds of people out biking and running and just being active.
Yeah.
And that was really refreshing to see.
How'd that differ from your other days here? I mean,
So I never really experienced a weekend here. More people definitely come out on the weekends. But I think it also helped that it was sunny and 80 some degrees.
yeah.
It was just a perfect day. And like all the buildings on Copacabana I have, I don't know, it made me happy that I got to be in Rio one more day before going back to the States tonight. And so after the hippie market, we came back, went to the beach. The waves were ginormous. I have no idea why, but I was getting knocked around all over. And then we got to play 6-on-6.
6-on-7.
We were 6-on-7 picture soccer. We didn't score a goal. We probably lost like 7-0.
One of us scored a goal.
That's right, for the other team. But it was just a lot of fun to play soccer on the beach. It was cool to meet people.
Yeah,
too.
it's sweating like crazy.
Yeah, it's really hard to run. in
Rough
sand.
workout, yeah.
Then we went to Villar.
Valara, I don't know if they do the double L like a
favorite
Y.
Restaurant.
Yeah.
At the Last Supper. And I am headed to the airport right now.
All right. Any last words after your last supper, Ben?
I enjoyed my time in Brazil. I even want to come back again. 3 weeks seemed to go by pretty quick. I know that there's a lot that I didn't get to see, but I definitely enjoyed my time here. And
All right.
Thanks to Josh for setting all this up.
Great to have you, Ben.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you when you get back in the States, I guess, or when we're both back.
Yeah.
All right. See ya.
Later.